The algorithm is not the enemy. Your attention is in the battlefield. Let me explain. Welcome back, guys, to day 22 of the Daily Reps podcast with me, Brendan. Today we're going to talk about why your distractions are killing your momentum and why you need to kill them first. So, let's get straight into it. We all know and love and hate and all the rest of it social media. Social media is the big one that's going to suck your time. If you notice what I am doing here, I am creating. I am being a producer. I am not consuming content when I'm doing this. I'm putting content out there. I am creating stuff before I consume. That is the key to winning. If you can simply kill that distractions and recognize and be aware that you're doing it, that is the first step to changing the outcome. If you realize that I need to put social media posts out for my business, for my because I want to be a social influencer, because I want to make a second income, because whatever the reason is, if that's what you want to do, or even maybe you just want to build more of your business, and you realize that getting home, sitting on the couch and scrolling is not being productive, and maybe if you produce something more productive, such as doing a little bit more outreach or creating adverts or flyers or whatever it is you think might be the best thing for you to do next, to get you to where you need to be, then maybe you need to kill that distractions or realize that you can do that distractions after you have done the producing and not the consuming. Not the consuming before the producing. You need to be the constructor. You need to be the builder. You need to, all of these productive words that are escaping my head right now. But you need to, in order to step ahead and take that next level, you need to be aware. And it's literally as simple as becoming aware that you're consuming. Some people do it out of habit. Some people do it out of, any reason. You know, you're sitting on the toilet, you pick out your phone and you start scrolling TikTok, Instagram, whatever. You go to do something on your phone, like check a message or whatever it is, and then next thing you open up Instagram, you start scrolling. I think we're all guilty of it, and I'm not just using social media as the only example, but it's really the easiest one to use right now. You know, you could distract yourself with anything. You could distract yourself with Netflix at nighttime. You could distract yourself with doing unproductive tasks that can wait for 3 months that you don't need to be doing now, like cleaning and polishing your car. I mean, do you really need to do that? Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have a nice clean car. I like doing it myself, but if there was stuff that I knew I needed to deliver on or get done, then maybe I'd do it when I've got a little bit more disposable time. It's recognizing when the disposable time should be and when the productive time should be, and whether you're just procrastinating on that jobs, and whether that distractions are actually taken away from the momentum and the compounding interest of you building on those skills and productive habits that you should be doing every single day. It's about every scroll that you do on social media, on TikTok, whatever, every swipe on friggin' Tinder, that's a missed rep that you could have employed somewhere else. If you think of your daily activities, all of the tasks, all of the things, all of the decisions, everything that you do is one single rep. We're on the Daily Reps podcast, so we've got to be aware of what daily reps we're having. If 50% of your available time is spent scrolling or doing non-productive reps, if you can employ just another 25% of those reps, or gain an extra 25% of productivity before you rewarded yourself with 25% rest. That might look like, say you've got 4 hours of productive time outside of the daily. Maybe you've got a job, maybe you go to school, whatever it is, and you've got 4 hours outside of all of the things that you have to do inside the day to be productive, and half of that is spent scrolling at the moment, and half of it is spent being productive. Well, if you could be productive for just 1 more hour, then how much more would you get done in 3 years' time, in a year's time, in 6 months' time? And that's how you've got to think about it. You've really got to just be aware that you don't want to waste time. You've got to be in a hurry to get somewhere. You've got to have urgency, and you've got to do it with deliberation. You've got to act deliberately in order to get to where you want to go. This is now 10:15 at night, and I could be doing any number of other things right now, chilling with my wife, sitting on the sofa, watching TV with her, speaking with her about the babies that are coming in 6 or 7 weeks. We're pregnant with, my wife's pregnant with twins, so we could be planning that. But really, this is gonna be out tomorrow morning because I was late with today's one anyway. So, or episode 21. So it's just realizing that I could distract myself with anything else, but really I'd committed to do this, and I know I need to do this. And there's work deliverables I've got to do through the week, and I've got time limits and deadlines for them. And as long as I meet those deadlines, why can't you reward yourself with a bit of doom scrolling, with a bit of nonsensical distraction? Maybe it's just reading a book, but anything that takes your presence away from being a producer, in my opinion. So, with that being said, tomorrow, episode 23, we're going to talk about confidence, and I'll just read the title. I'm not sure I quite understand what I've written with this episode, but confidence comes from promises kept to yourself. So, what I think tomorrow's episode is mainly going to be about is why building confidence, how confidence comes into fruition. A lot of people talk about confidence and how it's, some people have it, some people don't. Why don't you feel confident? Blah, blah. I think it comes from doing the daily reps. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow, and keeping the promises to yourself and to build that confidence, because if you keep breaking those promises, you're going to start to let negative seed thoughts creep in. And we're going to talk about your mind being the garden tomorrow and seeding the right thoughts. So it will be quite an interesting one. I've kind of got my head around what I was trying to say there. The closing rep for today, though, I want you to unfollow. Don't unfollow me. This is going to keep you right. This is okay. It's only less than 10 minutes every day. You can afford to do that. That's fine. Unfollow, uninstall, unsubscribe, then get back to work. Now, that's an extreme example, but if you're like spending a lot of time, you might need a complete dopamine cold turkey off switch. You might need a hard reset, and there's no reason that you can't do that. I mean, I've done it myself. This is why I'm recommending you do it. I have got rid of TikTok and Instagram and all the rest of it. TikTok is the worst one out there. It's not as bad as I think as it used to be, but it is still pretty bad. It doesn't matter what it is, though. If you are consuming too much, you're taking your time away from producing. You need to be aware of that. And if you want to go as far as to allocate your time, or just go, you know what, I'm bigger, better, and stronger than that. I want to be better. I'm going to cut it all off and start again. Then by all means do that. I'll leave that up to you. And with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've got some value from today's podcast. If you have enjoyed it, consider subscribing. And we'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow's rep. Comment your thoughts below. Comment what you're going to actually do for yourself. And let me know your thoughts on the podcast. Share it with someone you think needs to hear this as well. And that is everything from me today. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you tomorrow.